Welcome to Made in Walker, a podcast that connects you to the people, the stories, and the ideas shaping our community. From local innovators to everyday change makers, we're diving deep into what makes Walker a great place to live, work, and grow. Here's your host, Nicole DiDonato.
We're shining a light today on a topic that deserves more attention, and that is skilled trades. For many high school students, success doesn't necessarily mean a 4-year degree. So with me right now are brothers of Preferred Flooring. We have Daniel and Jose Gonzalez. It's a Walker-based company that's not only creating success here within the community, but also showing high school students that there's alternative ways to great success. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right, so let's start at the beginning. How did you know, or when did you know that you wanted to get into flooring specifically? It's a very specific niche there. So
No one ever wants to get into flooring. You kind of get thrown into it, and then you get stuck and can never leave.
yes, yeah.
We say we didn't choose flooring; flooring chose us.
Okay,
That's really what it amounts to. I started as a 2-week temporary, and then kind of dragged him in.
I started like right after 7th or 8th grade. I don't even remember.
Okay.
I was like 12 years old and
Great.
Getting into it, and we didn't have much growing up, so you got to fend for yourself, and that's what we did.
Yes.
Pull them into it. Like, hey, you want some nice things? All right, come and work. Come work on the weekend. Come and work when you're not.
And that's what it was. I was just also help for one day, and they were like, "Oh, he kind of works pretty good." So it was an every summer thing until I graduated, and then just did full time.
Yes. Okay. And you established your company in Walker. So grateful to have you and for choosing Walker to set up your business. What has that been like over the years?
So far, it's been going pretty good.
Yeah.
We've been in the same location since we moved to Walker, and it's hard to get away from the district, right? So
Sure.
our kids are Kennewa students, and it's just the atmosphere, the Little League, the people keep us here.
Being a small family business, that's what we kind of, are base everything around. It's like, let's stay in the community, let's help our community out, and that way, when they see us doing it, they end up helping us out too. And we've done quite a few homes. Residential is not something that we advertise, but once they know you do it, they're like, hey, I got a house over here, you want to come do it? And it's like, yeah.
Word of mouth is great.
That's the best.
Yeah, and you were touching on just how involved you are in the Walker community, especially with sports. With I'm assuming you guys grew up with baseball, softball too. You have a heart there as well.
Yep. Yeah. Baseball was my first love, and we're kind of, I don't want to say we're passing it down to the kids because we want them to love whatever they want to love, right? But in our family, you have to choose a sport.
Yep.
Right? You don't have to play it your whole life, but we have to try to find something because, a coachable kid becomes a better employee. A better employee becomes a better entrepreneur. And we want to introduce our children to the hierarchy of sports. Sports introduces a lot. Earn your spot.
We've had a lot of people come through, and you can tell the kids that played sports in school versus the ones that didn't, because they don't deal with authority the same way, right?
Sure.
So when you put your kids in sports, especially, my son started playing baseball when he was like 4 years old. He started travel when he was 7, and it's just, they have that different dynamic when it's like they can look at an authority figure and be like, all right, they're telling me what to do, not because they're just trying to boss me around, but we got things to get done.
Absolutely.
Let's face it, entrepreneurs don't always like the coaching they get either. That's why they start their own thing.
Sure.
And maybe that helps through sports, because hyper-competitive people create opportunities.
I love that connection. That is great to bring in sports and just how that builds character and everything.
Yeah, because, you started, saying about the high school, and we try and get in the career days, as early as elementary school, just to show people that it's not just all, office work and stuff like that. You can actually build a pretty good career with working with your hands.
Yeah, and we were talking off camera, and you were just mentioning what you see in kids when they come up to you during these youth career fairs. What is it that you notice right away from someone?
It's the kids that are actually like, oh, I get to play with some of these tools, right? Like, it's nothing that's going to hurt them or anything, but hey, I get to snap this floor together. I get to use a rubber mallet to make sure that it's locked in there. and just the kids that actually want to do things with their hands and actually, like, you can see them light up.
Yeah.
And most people, children, are very hands-on, right? Like, you want to touch it, don't touch the stove, it's hot, but it's flooring. It goes together, and some of it's really easy, some of it's really difficult, but to put it in front of a child and watch them discover something brand new, it's the same thing when you're an adult, when you're in construction, when you're putting something together and you accomplish that, you're creating art, and that's what it is. It's just another way to look at it. It doesn't have to be flooring, but construction is an art form, and some people have it, some people want it, some people do not, but there's room for everyone in the construction industry.
You can really tell the huge pride you have in your work. Where do you do a lot of your projects? Who are your biggest clients?
Oh, that's kind of
Or what industry, maybe? Do you do a lot of that within? I know some of the healthcare, I think you were mentioning.
We do healthcare, and that's where we'd like to get more back into that. We've kind of fallen out of that for a little bit, and a lot of that is price driven. But in construction, you kind of get what you pay for, and we've had I don't want to say privilege, because it's not a privilege to fix someone else's work, but it needs to be done, right? Because when you're working in clean rooms and surgery rooms, things have to be done, and infection control is over you the entire time. So, hospitals is kind of what we built our name on, and that's where we'd like to get back to, because I tell people, once you know how to do hospital work, that translates to everything else, and you're actually a lot cleaner everywhere else than if you don't work in hospitals at all.
That's a great point. And those are big projects. That's kind of, it's hard on your body too. I know you said.
It is, absolutely.
It is. And that's where the hyper competitive comes from, right? Like, someone says, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. It's like, oh, you only get one shot to do that? One chance? I want to try it. Let's do it. Yeah. And that's what happened. But as far as the majority of the work, we've been fortunate to start from a labor only and then evolved into a full service flooring contractor. And been building relationships since '98. So we get a lot of phone calls, and we don't win everything. I don't expect to, but it's nice to rekindle some of those relationships that were built years ago. And the gentleman who started as a laborer on a project is now running crews, or moved up the ladder in the industry that they're in, and they remember us.
Yeah, it's nice, because I was just measuring a project the other day, and it was direct for a client, and they had a construction company do their remodel, and I was like, oh, who you working with? They told me. I said, oh, I know them pretty well. And then she comes back out and she texts me. She was like, yeah, he said that. How do you know him? He's one of the best in the industry.
Yeah, it is all about, who you know and those relationships too. And speaking about relationships, again, kind of working with family, I believe your sister is also part of the crew.
Yeah,
too?
Our sister, our brother-in-law, people that have been, around our family for years. I mean, one of the guys that works for us, actually, we worked with him at a different company before we started this one.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
A couple of the guys.
And how is that working with family? This could be a whole other episode.
You know what? The dynamic is hard at times, but you have the same goal, right? Like, you and your family are striving towards the same goal. So even if you don't agree in a moment, you do agree on the end plan. So it's very comforting to know that we're still striving, taking strides to help our family get to a better place. Whether it's together all the time or sometimes not seeing eye to eye, I guess you got to catch us on good weeks and bad weeks. The good times are really good. The bad times are momentary.
Yeah.
Day to day, minute to minute sometimes.
Sure.
You just you gotta know when to just hold your breath and be like, all right, like I tell people, okay, we'll just do it your way. Like, we'll do it the dumbest way possible just so you can see.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, it ends up working out, and it's like, oh, I guess it wasn't that dumb after all.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And that's
teaching each other.
That's the sibling thing, right? Like,
hands off.
right.
Yes. Okay.
Hands off.
I'm here to help.
And switching gears, kind of back to the flooring industry, what are some of the challenges that you face, with that flooring industry?
I think if you look at any articles from probably like 1990 with the flooring industry. They call it the installation crisis or the labor crisis, right?
Sure.
We've been battling getting people into the industry for years. After the 80s, you talk to some of these old guys and they're like, the 80s were so great. I was making so much money. And then they look at the rates and they're like, I was making the same rates that you guys are charging now back in the 80s. So it's just not only labor, but getting the pricing to where it needs to be, because flooring is an industry where everyone is not necessarily paid the right way, right? Okay. They hire us as a contractor on a 1099, and then a lot of the other people will hire someone to help them on a 1099, and then they'll hire someone to help them on a 1099. Gotcha. And it's like a constant trickle effect. So it's actually competing with manufacturing and stuff like that, and just restaurants, right? Yeah. Fast food even. Yeah. You start working at a fast food restaurant or somewhere industrial, and you get health insurance right away, and you get vacation, and it's like, okay, you don't get that kind of stuff on a 1099. So what can we do to compete with these bigger guys, even though we're kind of lagging behind on the pay scale? And it's a lot of expense, but it's something that, we pulled the trigger on years ago to try and pull in some of the talent that we have now even.
Yeah, and it's construction all the way around, right? You can't get rid of the DBA or 1099 because it promotes entrepreneurs to take the next step. And it's something like, if it didn't exist, we wouldn't be here right now. Sure. But on the other hand, it's talent, retainage, and then also the cost of running a business nowadays. If you want to be attractive to employees, it gets very tiresome to go over all the changes and keep up with everything. Of course, because it's more money from us that has to go back out to the city, the state, federal. But I understand it's for a good cause. Yeah. It just makes it a little more difficult when you're the smaller guy on the block, but we're figuring it out day by day.
Yeah, small business owners, you wear a lot of different hats. Really quickly, you guys also have your own podcast. Where can people find that, and what kind of information is on that?
Yeah, so our podcast is called The Huddle. Again, we're really sports based, sports focused. So I love that, everything is bouncing off of that, and the tagline for that is forward progress, and that's what we say is forward progress in your career. And we just want to make sure that people, especially the people that are just starting out, don't have to go through the same hurdles that we did, right? Gotcha. Setting up a business, stuff like that. And we actually have a webinar series coming out that's awesome. We're trying to push it for Q2 of next year to start it, but that's going to be our first one, is actually setting up your business and getting your books in order, because there's too many people that don't know how to do that. And you can find us. Our website is thehuddle.team.
Cool. All right, wonderful. And if for folks are, whether looking for projects, or even if they're interested in exploring a career in flooring, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, we're all over all the social medias. You can our website is pfmi.team. Cool. So you can go there, and if you're looking for a job, or if you're a contractor now and just looking for more work, at the bottom of our page is a couple links, for employment or to partner with us. And Perfect. That's what we like to call people our partners, right? Because once we're working together, we're partnering. You're not any lower than we are. We wouldn't have that project if you weren't there. So that's how we look at things.
You got to build relationships, and you got to use everyone who's at your disposal to help create that social capital. So
I love your philosophies. Thank you both so much for sharing that insight, as well as what folks can do if they are interested in a career in flooring. And we'll look for the Huddle podcast as well. So Daniel and Jose, thank you so much.
Hey, we appreciate it. Thanks for having us on.
And we appreciate you for tuning in.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Made in Walker podcast. If you have comments or questions about this podcast, or if you have suggestions for future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. Please drop us an email at podcast@walker.city. Made in Walker is the official podcast of the city of Walker, Michigan. You can find Made in Walker wherever you get your podcasts.